Hi, welcome. I'm Diana. Thanks for popping by and tuning in. And today I wanted to talk about the letter A is under attack. The letter A is under extreme attack. And because as I've mentioned before, well, the alphabet letters that we use them to create the world around us. Everything has a name, every concept, everything really has a name, including ourselves. And so they are a very important medium of communication and everything else really. Our whole world is made up of letters, cups, tables, television, people's names, everything is made up of letters. And I've noticed that for quite some time now, because again, it's like 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 the controllers, the one who's limiting us in every way. I can feel something coming on, and some light and love. And so, because the letter A, it's the first letter in the English alphabet, so it holds a lot of power. It's in first position. So take note if this is in your name, whether it begins your name or it's in the middle of your name, like say Diana, I've got two A's in Diana, or if you're Angela, or so on. And also, it's very much a female number, and sorry, a female letter. And because if you look at like male names, for example, and you want to change the male name into female, you add an A at the end, like Michael, Michaela, Carl, Carla, George, Georgia, or Georgina. I've got a couple more here, I think. Did I say Alan, Elena, and so on. So we use Nigel, Nigella. So we use the A to modify that male name into female. And so it, and because of that, it's, because it's really a female letter, female energy, and the female is being deleted out of the ethers almost. I mean, if you look around for the longest time, not to get in trouble with anybody's way of life, but women are so powerful, and the world needs the power of women to stabilize it. I mean, it's called Mother Earth, but men are dominating it in politics and every which way. In certain places in the world, men are allowed to have more than one wife, but the wife is not allowed to have more than one husband. And even in the Bible, Eve, it's another story, is condemned to labor in pain. And it's been always been, if you look around, it's always been an assault on the female, because from way back when, even the church itself would burn women at the stake who were herbalists and healers, because they couldn't have that power outside of themselves. And it's such a long story, but I remember, if I even now, my name is Diana, and if I go anywhere and I introduce myself, I say, my name is Diana. Oh, hi, Diane. And 10 times out of 10, I have to say, it's Diana. Now, I'm not shortening your name, so why should you shorten mine? Because I didn't tell you to shorten it. I got so tired, and I remember there was a time when, again, I introduced myself to this lady, and she said, "Oh, hi, Diane." And I said to her, "You've just murdered my last letter A." And she was so shocked. Anyway, later in the day, we're talking about something, and then I know we just sort of got that a bit separated. And I heard somebody say, Diane, Diane, Diane. Obviously, I didn't look around, although I recognized her voice. And then she came up behind me. She said, "Why didn't you answer?" I said, "Did you call me?" She said, "Yes." I said, "I didn't hear you call my name." She said, "Yes, I did." I said, "I didn't hear you call my name." And she said, "I did, Diane, I did." And I told her, "Look, how many times? I just told you a little while ago that you murdered my last letter, eh? Why are you insisting on doing it? Why is it so hard for you to call me Diana? And if I want you to call me Diane, I'll tell you, but it's Diana." And I've had to fight all the time for people to call me Diana. And I I want the energy of my little A. I like my name, and I would never ever insult anyone by shortening their names when they introduce their proper name to me. And so I yeah, I had this fight all the time. Anyway, I was wondering about that, and some time back I decided I would meditate on the letter A. And the letter A, especially the capital letter, when I meditated on that, it started falling down. I'm imagining it in my head, right? And on its own and within words. And it started to like fall down. It kept falling down, kept falling down. I'm like, well, what is going on? And so I started to send it some light and love and light and love. And it started kind of like coming back up. But as soon as I stopped sending light and love, it just kept falling down again all the time. Now, this is the first letter of our alphabet, but it's also the first vowel of our alphabet. And it's like vowels, it actually tells you what a vowel is. The vowel of L, you're vowing to help L do the work, and L is like a source, cosmic figurehead, if you will. And so, as I said, we've got like Mother Earth. Mother Earth now is being attacked so badly, and we have like Isis or Aset, but Isis, the Egyptian goddess, right? And then just right in your face, these controllers decide to call a group of people that are supposed to be against all that is good. And anyway, I don't want to get into politics, but they decide to use that name, ISIS. So to the cosmos, right? The ISIS now is like a band of cutthroats rather than the goddess, Isis, the goddess. And this is how deep it goes. And I remember soon after they gave this name on purpose, I was researching something about Isis, and all this information came up about the group called ISIS. And it took me forever, really. I had to put in a variation of different like words and sentences to get Isis, the actual goddess, to come up. And this is going back a few years. And so right in your face, the woman, Isis now, is being replaced by this group of, I don't know what to call them, but you know what I mean, them. So anyway, I thought I would say that to anybody who has an A in their name, or if they've got children, just imagine that you're surrounding it with lots of pure, beautiful, powerful light. And a good one would be like a strong, like solar gold, really gold, beautiful gold, like 22 karat gold type of thing. Is there a higher amount than 22? But your deep, beautiful gold, all colors are powerful. but it needs that healing. And I also want to say purple, but maybe not yet. Purple is a powerful healing, um, like healing light. But I think it needs the gold because it needs to get up and it needs to go and it needs to express its powerful leadership qualities and energy. So the attack that they've done on it, whatever they did, is it's weakened the A so much. It's made the A ill and almost put it into like a coma. So as I said, it's very important that you are aware of this and start to heal it, because anytime we do any kind of healing, we're not only helping ourselves, but we're helping the wider world. And it might come back to you when you least expect it to help you or your loved ones. So don't think that, oh, you know, I can't be bothered, or it's not going to do much good or whatever. So be aware that whatever you do, whatever good that you do, goes out into the world to heal it and also acts as a protective shield for you in the present and in the future. So, okay, I hope you get something from that, and take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.